welcome to another lick of the day. I'm Brett Papa, and today we're just gonna get freaking pentatonic crazy. Like that's anything different than what we do here, because pentatonics freaking rule. Okay, so the key to licks, though, is doing, a lick that works over chord changes. Click down below. There's a bunch of different stuff. There's a soloing series. There's also brettpapa.com, which supports the whole cause, teaching you just how to do this kind of stuff when it counts over music, right? So, thinking process, though, let's say we're in E pentatonic, and you're playing over the one chord or whatever. You want to target notes from an E chord, right? We can mix major and minor, we can do all this stuff, but you gotta have some of the notes of an E chord. Each chord's made up of a root, a third, and a fifth, right? Sometimes the thirds makes the chord major or minor, well, always does, makes it major or minor, but keep that in mind, right? Because that's important when you're making licks. So check it out. If we're doing stuff like, we have an E chord here, we can just say E minor, right? And we also have an E chord up here. So when you're doing licks, right, you're bending into that chord. And then you have, think of your chord here. So any of these notes are from an E chord as well. So when you're doing, it's going to sound great because you're hitting chord tones over an E, right, of that actual chord. Right, this is the fifth. Right, it's the same note here. But since you're hitting an extra note in there, it sounds like it's, you're hitting more chord tones than just the fifth. Now when I go, now we've gone into the territory where we're basically hitting almost all the chord tones, right? So you got, and on the third pass, right now we're bending into, now you're hitting heavy on the fifth of the chord and the root note of the chord. And now I'm going to go back, and then now that I've gone here, now I'm hitting the third of the chord. So we've hit all the notes over an E minor chord, right, with our lick. Now this bend, I've gone over it before, but in case you haven't seen it, you bend up on the 15th fret B. And when the strings scrunch together, you're going to come down on the G. So it goes total Hendrixism. Okay, but in this instance, I go up, come down, and then I reach over here, right, back to my fifth of the chord and do a step and a half bend. Okay, so I actually go, I think I go. Right, so now we're going to enter the blues note, which is an awesome note if you're playing in pentatonic. You'll hear people all the time, right? And it's just if you're playing in position 1. That's the normal position. It's one fret up, right? So you got. Okay, so we've got. Now we're going to go. Now that I'm in position 2, right, you're hitting all the notes of this E chord by doing that lick. Here, here, right, again, and then you've completed all the notes of your chord right there. Right? So it's time slower. It's, you know, sometimes you get tongue-tied. What can I say? Okay, so we got... Okay, so remember, we've hit all the notes in this version of our E minor chord and all the ones in this one. You know, this position right here, this inversion in position 2 is used so much in soloing. Think of Stevie Ray. You know, all those licks. Because you're playing, I mean, these notes right here are just spell that chord, right? That E minor chord. Now, you know, he added a lot of feel, Hendrix, all those guys. The feel really, you know, makes the note choice come alive. But the basis behind and the reason the lick sounds good is they're all chord tones. That's everything. I stress that every lesson. I'm always going to stress it in every lesson. That is the gold, the keys to the kingdom of note choice heaven, nirvana. You know, what's a less spiritual term for music awesomeness? The bank. Bank of awesome, right? In note choice. So we got... Right? So it's just, that's it, man. These licks too. All chord tones. Right? You know, that kind of lick. Right? But always keep in mind, it's not just a scale, right? A scale is made up of the notes of all the chords in the progression, right? You make all the chords in the progression from the scale that you're playing out of. Now, pentatonic is missing 2 notes, but keep in mind, the scale is just a shape and it contains notes in it. That doesn't mean that you can just fumble your way through it and it's going to sound good over music. You're targeting notes. You're going after specific tones. Now you can do some blazing runs that don't, you know, hit the notes all the time and add excitement. And there's different ways to do it. But to truly, you know, craft some sort of melodic solo, memorable solo, think of all the greats. Think of just like All Along the Watchtower, right? Nothing hard, all pentatonic licks, but goes exactly with the chord changes. Journey, all these bands, right? Just killer. David Gilmour, right? Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb, Another Brick in the Wall. All these solos do that. They hit the right notes of the scale at the right time in the chord progression, and that's what makes them legit. All right, so keep that in mind whenever you play, and if you want the, you know, full deep dive into all that stuff, again, go to brettpapa.com. All my courses are based on that kind of stuff. Okay, so you can break that lick up. You know, add to it. Right? Whatever you want to do. Right? But you can use that as the basis of a lick that you're going to do, you know, resolve some other way. That would work good over like a voodoo child progression. Try it. I swear. Chord tones inside the scale. Know those chord inversions. That's the keys, the melodic kingdom. You guys are awesome. If you like this video, by all means, share it with friends, family, people who you think would learn and enjoy. That would be amazing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, there's a little bell you got to click. That'll let you know when all the latest videos are coming out. I try to post at least 3 times a week, and I'll also post some other videos over here with some other playlists, and I do song tutorials. There's a song request link down below, so check that out. There's a 3-part free, you know, that goes over this more in depth, a series down below too in both major and minor. So check those out as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the continued support. We'll catch you next time.